All right, we are joined by Michael Mayer, who grew up directly down the road from me. So I went to Highlands High School. You went to Covcath High School, probably 15 minutes or something apart. Huge rivals. When you were there, I kept hearing your name, man. Everybody kept saying, it was like, they got this tight end, they got this basketball player, they got this guy, they got this dude over here at Covcath. Like, he's going to be something special. And I think he likes Notre Dame. Like, there was some whispers about you, even in the Highlands waters. So take me back to your high school career. You were a hooper. You were a football player. What all did you play? What did you do in high school? What was sort of your come up?
Yep. Going into high school my freshman year, my number one sport was always basketball. I wanted to play college basketball. I was pretty much my entire life. I was a UK basketball fan back even when John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, all them when they were playing. And going into high school, I knew I wanted to play basketball. And so I kind of told everyone, I was like, I want to be a basketball player, whatever. I went and played football my freshman year, and I kind of fell in love with it right away. I fell in love with it. I played middle linebacker, and I played like a tight end, wide receiver type thing my freshman year. I was I was pretty tall and skinny, so I didn't have much like meat to my bones. And then when I kind of fell in love with football, I kind of got I got a little bench press in my basement, and I was like, I want to be a big football player. So I started lifting a ton, and I gained a ton of weight, and I kind of got up to like 6'4.5", 6'5", and then I lost my jump shot. So I was like a 6'5" guard that can't really shoot. I don't think he's really going to be able to do much in the college basketball world. So I kind of took my talents to the football field.
Okay, so what grade did you sort of make that switch from I want to be a hooper to, you know what, this actually looks pretty good in the football side?
It was probably freshman year going into sophomore year.
Oh, that's early. Damn,
yeah.
That's early. And you were this big. Were you starting to fill out about that same time?
Yep, that's when I kind of started gaining weight, fill out, kind of got to my like max height probably.
And do they have a quarterback over there that could throw it at Covcath, or what was the offense? What was sort of the lay of the land when you were trying to prove that you could make some plays on the outside?
Yeah, so my freshman and sophomore year was my older brother, actually. His name's AJ. He plays quarterback at Miami of Ohio. And so he was slinging it to me. It was pretty fun. We actually got to win a state championship my sophomore year, his senior year. So
wow.
That was a cool little brotherhood kind of thing to share. And then my junior and senior year, we had a guy by the name of Caleb Jacobs who's playing football down in Georgetown in Kentucky. So really, I mean, for the most part, after AJ left, I kind of just told Caleb to just throw it up in my area and see what would happen. So I think for the most part, it worked out.
Wait, so you had your brother playing quarterback for you? I mean, dude, that's something you can't recreate ever. So my brother was a senior when I was a freshman. So we were on the same team, but you know how that is when you're a freshman.
Yeah.
But to be both huge factors, quarterback, star tight end, like take me inside of that a little bit, man. How special was that? What did it do for your guys' relationship?
It was huge. We kind of, when we got into high school and we started playing, we played basketball together too. So we played both sports together. When we started getting to high school, we were a little bit more mature and could play with each other and stuff. And when we were kids, obviously everything always ended in fights and stuff. So, but just to play basketball and football with him, it strengthened our relationship. There's no doubt it strengthened our relationship, but it was also just a cool little element to our family too. It definitely brought our whole, I mean, I got 3 other siblings too. So it brought our whole family together, just to be able to have that element of go watch a game and be able to watch 2 of my sons or 2 of my brothers, that type of thing. I don't think it was an awesome experience, and I'm never going to forget that the rest of my life.
Yeah, there's nothing better than playing like with one of your best friends or with your brother. Like there's like this telepathic communication that happens,
Yeah.
like that you guys know what each other's thinking better than anybody else on the field. Like that's so awesome to me. So at what point does college come into the picture? Like when do you become a recruit? When does that happen, and who's first?
First couple weeks into my sophomore season, actually rewind. We had a scrimmage. We always have a scrimmage in the summer before kind of the season starts. And we played Newcath. And after that scrimmage, Coach Evanston, who was my head coach, kind of brought me into his office. And he was like, look, like you played pretty well today. And I think that if you keep working hard at this, you gain a little bit more weight, you're going to be able to do something with this and hopefully get your college paid for. And I was like, at that point, college football was not really in my mind at all until he kind of said that. So he said that. I kind of went back home, told my parents about it. I was all pumped up about it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. 3 or 4 weeks into the season, I already have 3 or 4 sacks at the end. I think I may have a tutty and probably 200 yards, 250 yards on the season. And the first call was I think his name's Coach Slarman, who was an O-line coach at UK. And UK offers me. Obviously, hometown, whatever. So they were my first offer. And then later that day, I get a call from Minnesota. Minnesota calls me and offers me. So my first 2 offers, UK, Minnesota. On the same day, too, I was ecstatic. I was so pumped. My older brother was pumped for me. My parents were freaking out. It was a Thursday too, and we had a game that Friday. So everyone was like, "Oh, like make sure you're still locked into the game on Friday." But I was like, "I'm locked in. Don't worry. Just let me be excited for a little bit."
Yeah. Okay. So then, when does Notre Dame enter the fold?
I would say 5-6 weeks after that. So UK, Minnesota, probably week 4, week 5 of my sophomore football season, and then I would say after that it's a little bit of a blur because I had started getting a ton of offers and had to talk to a ton of coaches, visits, whatever, that type of thing. And I would say 5-6 weeks later, I don't know, probably week 10 or 11 of the season, Notre Dame calls, and I'm nothing but ecstatic. I talked to Coach Todd Light, who offered me, and he's no longer part of the staff, but he was a big part of me going to Notre Dame, and really good guy. And obviously, I'm glad I made the right decision.
Yeah, he's really an awesome dude. Like if I could have talked to you when you were 17, 18 and making a decision, I would have told you, hey, dude, go to Notre Dame. Like if you want to play tight end, you want to play NFL tight end, you want to go do some amazing things in your life, you just feel like a Notre Dame guy to me talking to you for 5 seconds. So what was it? Was it the history of tight ends? Like could you just envision this whole thing in your head, or what really made the decision?
When I came here, I think my first ever visit, Cole Kmet and Brock Wright both walked right up to me. Me and my dad were standing right there. I remember it vividly, a little photographic picture in my head. But they walked up to me in the locker room, said what up to me, blah, 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 whatever. And I remember them walking around campus with us for a little bit. And I just remember how I know wherever you go, you're going to have good guys. You're going to have great, people that can take you around campus, whatever. Right. But I just remember how different Brock and Cole seemed to me. And I just remember how going around campus with them, how normal it felt to just walk around campus with them. And I definitely knew when I was going to come to Notre Dame that I wanted to be a normal student and a football player. I know at other places, there's definitely lesser of the student and more of the football player, but that's something that I fell in love with at Notre Dame for sure is being able to just walk around campus and be a normal person and talk to my classmates and have normal friends in my classes and things like that. And, it really all started with Cole and Brock and seeing how good of guys they were and how good of football players they were. And, I'd be lying if I said, the tight end tradition here wasn't a large part of it also.
Yeah. Basically what I'm hearing is you just fit right in. Like sometimes you just know and you just fit right in. So you get up there, the hype train was real in a hurry. And it was my first year. I came back from ESPN, came to NBC to cover the team. So then I had to sort of put together in my head all this hype I've been hearing about your high school career, meshing with you being in the building now at Notre Dame. And it seemed to come together so fast, like from the outside perspective. When you first get there for your first camp, how long did it take before you went, I can compete at this level and I can really stand out at this level?
Yeah. So the first couple of weeks I got here, I think it was June something. I texted Ian and I said, let's go throw some balls around. And I think it was me, Ian, maybe Brock, and I think Benny Sco with the Rams right now. And we went out to the field and we threw some balls. And, it felt like I fit right in. We were slinging it left and right, running routes, basics, slants, everything. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. But prior to that, I was very nervous. Didn't know what to expect, that type of thing. And right after I kind of did that and went to throw with Ian, everything kind of settled down. And all right, I just need to come in, do my thing, and everything else is going to work out. So we did that kind of through summer. And then once camp hit, I was starting out with the twos in camp as a little freshman, and I didn't really know what to expect either. And but the throwing with Ian and being able to run routes with Brock and learn from him and Tommy Tremble and stuff, everything kind of came together during camp. And I really just felt like I was at the right place. I felt like I was in the right offense with the right coaches, with the right quarterback, that type of thing. And obviously, I think I had a pretty good freshman year, and everything kind of came together. It felt good.
Yeah, you mentioned Brock Wright and the fellas, Ian Book. Like, I almost think it's some mixing and meshing of you and your personality and your skill set that all fit there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could just see, I know Ian really well. I could see you two becoming friends like that. And when you develop that chemistry off the field and you just immediately get along, it only translates on the field. And that's what it felt like. Was the speed difference substantially different? Like, was the speed where you go, man, these guys can fly around, or you could just get up to that level?
I could say that the speed was definitely different, but in terms of how long it took me to kind of get to that level of speed, for me personally, it wasn't too difficult at all.
Mm-hmm. So now that you're coming into your second year one, you're surprising some people. Year two, people know about you. What's different about when they know about you?
For me, nothing really. I mean,
yeah, that's good. That's good.
I try to stay out of and stay away from kind of, the hype or the talk or what's going on social media or that type of thing. It's really, for me, it's go play football and go to class and get good grades. I mean, there's nothing like complicated to it, really. It's really just go play football and make the plays you can play or know you can make, no matter what anybody's saying about you.
Is it weird walking around campus and people like look at you and sort of do a double take at you? And you're like, is that weird? Like, what's that actually like?
It's a little weird. I mean, freshman year, maybe it was because of mask or something, but I didn't really have any of those looks freshman year. And this year, they're definitely coming back, and it's a little weird, just either walking out of class and getting a picture or signing something for somebody or something like that. But it's all part of the experience. That's part of the Notre Dame experience, and I wouldn't want it any other way. So,
What's the biggest thing you learned from Ian Book about playing Notre Dame football?
I would say his composure, number one, always. Ian had the best composure, and when he made a mistake, he didn't let it affect him for the next play. And I think that kind of spread out throughout the offense. I think that spread throughout the team, and I think that's why he was such a great leader.
I see a lot of that in you, man. And Coach Kelly described you as CEO energy. He said you have CEO energy. How would you define that? How do you try to carry yourself?
When I'm out, I would say that's a pretty good description of it. I would say the way I play football is go out there, get the job done, and get out of there. Now, when I say that, I don't mean get in there, rush, whatever, be lazy, and get out of there. It's get in there, get my job done, and get out of there. And that's kind of the way I handle it. Is I go in there, catch my passes, do my blocks, that type of thing, and get out of there. That's my job. That's why I'm here at Notre Dame, and that's kind of how I treat it.
Yeah, you treat it like you're a pro already. These quarterbacks, I've covered the team for a while now, even back to when I was a freshman. I've never really seen a quarterback room like this, where they all sort of have something different that they bring to the table or something exciting about all three quarterbacks. So as you try to work with all three simultaneously, what's been unique about this process, going from one guy who's been there forever in Book to now three guys who can do some cool things?
Yeah. First thing that kind of comes to mind is what you were talking about before with me and Ian, is kind of how easy it is to have that on the football field when you have it off the football field.
Yeah.
So I can say wholeheartedly that I have that with all three quarterbacks right now. Tyler, Jac, and Drew. Obviously, Drew coming in. I was at the opening with Drew, which is like a camp sort of thing in the summer. He was my quarterback for my team in the opening, and we actually made it to the opening finals. So I knew of Drew, and he threw me the ball at the opening and stuff like that, and we talked and stuff before. And then obviously Tyler, very exciting player, very, very exciting player, came here, was a big-time recruit, can run, can throw the ball. And then Cone, obviously, right when he got here, I knew we were going to have – Cone's a little bit like me in the way that he kind of goes out there and gets finishes his job and gets out of there, and so I kind of had that type of connection with Cone too. And I would say he's a little bit introverted too, like me. And we clicked right away. And I mean, I could say that I really do. I click with all three of these quarterbacks, and I believe in all three of these quarterbacks, and they're all three awesome people off the field too. So
I'll tell you what else you have similar to Cone from the way I watch you is you guys both have this clutch gene about you. It's like when the fourth quarter, you seem to have that Tom Brady ability to just lock in even more. You know what I'm saying? Like you just come more. How do you think about those clutch moments?
It's a little bit like I'm going to play in that same moment like I would in the first quarter. Like I go out, I approach everything the same way, no matter if it's the first quarter, fourth quarter, second OT, whatever. It's just a matter of, is the ball coming my way or not? So I'm going to approach it the same way no matter what. And I feel like sometimes it's really just making that play, except in the clutch moment instead of in the first quarter.
Can you feel some of that with Cone? Like when it comes down to the fourth quarter time, when he's in that huddle, like what does he feel like stepping in there talking to you guys?
Yeah, he's got confidence. I mean, he knows what he needs to do, and I think the whole offense, we know what we need to do. I think sort of this year alone, we've had some good success, 2-minute drives, fourth quarter drives, that type of thing. And it just shows perseverance and a little bit of grit to the offense. And, if we need to score, we're going to go score.
Yeah. Last question for you is Tommy Rees. I mean, this guy's 29 years old. 29 years old is crazy to me that, I mean, he was up there. So when he was 18, he's playing for Notre Dame. My brother's on the team. He's playing already. And everybody would describe him as this guy's going to be a 30-year NFL coach when he was 18. And so now when he's 29, you can see this coming to fruition. You can see the development over that, decade that he's had. And he still seems young, but he also feels mature to me. You know what I mean? Like so few guys can be that. Coach Freeman can do that also, where he can relate to young guys, but he also feels like he could be your dad. It's a very hard skill set to find, and both of those coordinators have them. Playing for Tommy Rees, how would you describe it? What's been the best part about having him calling the plays?
I would say a good part of it would be the relatability for sure, what you just talked about. And I think the second part of it is just allowing the offense to play freely. I think there's definitely some OCs out there that, are very strict in what the offense does and this person does that and that person does this. I think what Coach Rees allows me to do, and I think allows Jac and a lot of other people in the offense to do, is kind of play a little bit more freely and also just being able to relate to us in terms of making a mistake, making a big play, being excited for us, that type of thing. So, no, it's been great, and he's trusted me the first day I got on campus. So,
yeah, he's even wearing that Slim Shady beanie over there in the booth. Looks kind of slick up there, man.
Yeah. You got to watch out for him when he has that beanie on.
You always got to watch out. He's good buddies with Zach Martin, dude. I've seen Eifert come through there, Rudolph, all those guys. I'm telling you, you got something special about your game, the way you carry yourself, man. I'm telling you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
It's a different level of athleticism and just fluid athlete that you are on the outside. So believe it. Keep doing what you're doing. Thanks for coming on, man. Great getting to hang out with you a little bit.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
No doubt, Mike. I'll catch you in Cincinnati one of these days, man.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
We'll get out for some golf or something.